Hey guys, Wrestling Throwdown here. I'm Haley and I'm alone tonight. Joe was really busy, Chris was really busy, so I really didn't have anyone else that I feel comfortable with doing these with. So, um, it's whatever now. Um, it's not like a huge match card anyways. It's not really that important. There's really only one match that's actually going to have like a good ending and a good match and everything like that, because I mean the I Quit match, it depends on what they do with it, and it depends on what they make Rusev do. If they make him just pass out, it would be better, but I don't think they're gonna do that. Alrighty. So this is probably gonna be the pre-show, I'm guessing. They haven't announced it yet, or at least I don't think they have. But Damian Sandow and Curtis Axel versus the Ascension. And this was brand new. I don't know when they made this match. I don't know if they made it like yesterday or, whatever. But obviously, knowing they might have made it on SmackDown, probably. They're a new tag team now, and I know a lot of people are like really upset about it. Some people don't like it. Some people don't really have an opinion on it, but most people really don't like it. And I mean, they don't like how Damian is being used. They think that they were so excited for his push, and I called this. I knew he wasn't going to go skyrocket to the moon on his push. You know what? And this is what I told Joe too. I feel like you should just be happy that they're actually doing something with him, and he's actually getting TV time. Same with Curtis Axel too. When's the last time Curtis Axel actually? I mean, right when he came in and he was Intercontinental Champion, he was with Paul Heyman. That was when he was something, and then ever since leaving Paul Heyman, they just completely killed him. So, so I was kind of for them, putting them together. I mean, I thought it was a little interesting, but yeah, the concept with Hogan and you know, Macho Man Randy Savage, they don't like that and everything like that, having them imitate them and everything. But it's whatever. At least they're doing something. At least they're giving them a shot, and that's what I say. You can't be upset that they're actually giving them TV time and everything. And it seems like they're gonna maybe feud with the Ascension for a little bit. Ascension, we haven't seen them in a few weeks too. They're jobbers now. I feel really bad for them. They were like my favorite tag team in NXT, and they destroyed them. So whatever. I still have hope for them, but right now it's looking pretty slim. Hopefully, once they get out of this loophole, then they'll be okay. But who knows? But this is, I'm guessing, is going to be a pre-show. As for my prediction with this, I'm guessing Damian Sandow and Curtis Axel are going to get their first victory together as a tag team, just because the Ascension, like I said, hasn't been used very good and everything like that. So really doesn't make any sense for them not to win. So that is my prediction. Damian Sandow and Curtis Axel. Next on the match card, they do have a Divas match, but they don't have it for the title. They have a tag team instead. Like I was telling Joe too, he was, kind of weirded out by this, but I'm just like, they never, I mean, the Divas title never really gets defended every month. It gets defended maybe every other month or every 2 months or something, or every 3 months, whatever. So, but the Bella Twins versus Naomi and Tamina Snuka. I think the heels are going to take this. I think Naomi and Tamina Snuka are actually going to win. The Bella Twins were supposed to be gone by like the summertime or something. I don't know when their contract's up, but I actually think they might stay now. I think they might resign. Paige is supposed to be back in June, so I'm thinking Naomi is going to probably win. They're gonna have a match. Nikki and Naomi are probably gonna have a rematch next month at Elimination Chamber match too. I love that they bring that back next month. I think that's pretty awesome. They're probably going to have a rematch though, and Naomi's probably going to win, and then Paige is probably going to show up the next Raw or something, the night after on Raw. So, because her and Miz both finished their movie and everything like that. I don't know who Miz is going to feud with then. I don't know if he's going to come back. I'm sure he's probably going to still be at the money maker face thing. But who knows? But yeah, Naomi and Tamina Snuka are going to win. Next, we have a tag team match for the title. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd versus the New Day. And it's a 2 out of 3 falls match. Just found that out. I think the New Day is going to pick it up. I think that it's going to be 1-1. And then the New Day is probably going to, do something, kind of a distraction or something to pick up the victory. I think the New Day, it seems like their tag team title run is doing wonders for them. It seems like the people are finally getting into them. They're assholes. They're cocky. They're kind of annoying. So, hey, it's working for them. So I do think the New Day is going to keep the titles for a little bit. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, I love them as a babyface tag team. I think they're doing really good. I'm so glad that the Natalya thing is done with too. I think that's awesome and everything like that. I think they needed to stop doing that. So I'm happy for that. But yeah, I do think the New Day is going to win with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd getting one, them getting one, the New Day getting one, and then the New Day eventually taking it with a cheat or something like that. Alrighty. Neville versus Bad News Barrett. This is going to be a good match. I really don't know. I'm kind of like half and half on this one because I want to say Neville. But then I also want to say Barrett too, because Barrett, for multiple reasons. I mean, obviously, he just won the King of the Ring. So he's getting this push kind of now, and they want him to, hold on, I gotta plug my cord in. But they want him to obviously look strong. So I really don't see him losing. But then at the same time, Neville's getting a big push. He almost beat John Cena. This past week. So, I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if they give it to him too. Who needs it more? I would actually give it to Neville, and I'm going to go with Neville on this pick just because he's new. And I think he needs that a little bit more than Bad News Barrett, just because Bad News Barrett, obviously, he just won the King of the Ring. He's also injury prone too. You don't know how long he's going to stay around. So it's just like, what are you going to do? Keep pushing him and then give him a title again, then him get injured again. And I love Bad News Barrett. I love both of these guys actually. Yeah, I know. I really like Neville now. I don't know what happened with me. He's so good. He's like one of my favorites on the roster right now. But Neville needs it more. I think that it'll be a good win for him. Especially since Bad News Barrett already beat him for the King of the Ring. So I think it just makes sense, if they're continuing their feud or ending their feud, whatever, for Neville to get this win. And then if they still, feud after this, if they have one more match, if you want to give Bad News Barrett the next, victory. But I do think Neville needs this more, and I think they actually will give it to Neville just because Bad News Barrett already beat him once. So I think they actually both beat each other once, actually. I think it's tied, to tell you the truth. But I think Neville deserves this more. This will be a good win on his second pay-per-view now, so yeah. And this will be the first time where he's on the main show too. So, because I highly doubt this is going to be a pre-show. I don't think it better not be the damn pre-show. But knowing WWE, it might. But I think Neville deserves to be on the main card this time. Next, Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus. This is kind of another iffy one, just because I thought Sheamus was going to win last match. He didn't, but Dolph still kissed his ass, so technically he did win, but Dolph technically won too, so but I do think Sheamus needs this victory more than Dolph right now. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't give the victory to Sheamus, but they made Sheamus obviously look stronger because obviously Sheamus got Dolph to kiss his ass and everything. So Sheamus isn't like, it's not like Sheamus is looking bad or anything like that, but I think he does need a victory on Dolph. A clean, good victory. As much as I love Dolph, Dolph's had some very good wins lately, so I don't think it'll hurt Dolph at all. But people, on the other hand, you want to say technically Dolph does need this win because he kissed Sheamus's ass, so he wants to get, payback and everything. So, but I'm still going to go with Sheamus on this. I do think that Sheamus is going to win. It doesn't make sense for him not to. I think he needs a victory. Sheamus really hasn't had a good victory since he came back and is now this monster heel. And, if they want to give him this good push, at least mid-card push, or get him up to main eventer again, they got to give him some good wins. And Dolph would be a good start about this, because Dolph's beaten him, I think, twice now. And I don't think, Sheamus, I don't think, has one win on him, to tell you the truth. I mean, unless you count the, Sheamus got him still to kiss his ass, but he's still technically lost. So, I mean, and it just made Sheamus look like a sore loser. So if Sheamus doesn't want to keep looking like a sore damn loser, he needs this victory. And I think they'll give it to him. I mean, Dolph really doesn't need it. He's not, doing really much anything else. Sheamus is, just came back from a heel turn. Sheamus needs this win more. So, and I know some people will probably say, no, Dolph needs it more. Well, I still feel like Sheamus needs it more because he's now looking like a sore loser right now, and he hasn't had a victory on Dolph. And I mean, if they want to make him into this monster heel, he needs the victory. So I'm going to go with Sheamus on this. Alrighty, next, Rusev versus John Cena in an I Quit match for the United States title. Like I said, this is where it gets iffy. There's a couple ideas where this could go down. It should go down where Rusev doesn't quit. Like, he doesn't, but John Cena obviously is still going to win somewhere, some way, somehow. If they really don't want John Cena to lose this, they need to still make Rusev look semi-strong. And the way they can do this is, there's a couple possibilities. He could throw in the flag. Lana could, see that he's in pain, blah, 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 and like throw in the towel. Or why did I say throw in the flag? Throw in the towel, I meant to say, to obviously, be like, oh, it's over, he was hurting you, I was trying to protect you. Then that could obviously still create tension between Lana and Rusev. Rusev eventually dumping her, leaving her there, and then Lana, being there all alone and hopefully being someone else's manager, so they can do it that way. Or what they can do is have Rusev pass out. Or they can do kind of like a mix, I guess. Like, after he passes out, have her throw in the towel. Just don't let him say I quit. Because if you make him say I quit, it's just going to end bad. Especially with Lana obviously having problems and them breaking them up, with her being a face and him still being a heel. You might as well do something where Lana gets involved and it's just like, oh, I'm going to throw in the towel or whatever because, he was hurting you. I was worried. I did it to protect you, blah, blah, blah. And then Rusev obviously getting mad because she technically cost him the match because, he didn't quit on his own. She quit for him. So obviously you do something like that. And then maybe even Lana being with the next person Rusev feuds with. Because obviously after this, she obviously is going to be with another person. So, But yeah, I do think John Cena is going to end up winning. But I just don't want Rusev to look weak. So So, but yeah, we'll see. I do think that John Cena is going to end up losing it though at a random Raw or whatever when he does his U.S. Open Challenge. And I really hope they continue doing the U.S. Open Challenge too. It's so great and it's so good for them that it gets, I mean, obviously the NXT stars look great too, and it makes, you know, the lower mid-carders and even jobbers have a great match with them, and, you know, so it gives everyone an opportunity to put on a great match with John Cena. John Cena's been having great matches, so it's good for him too. It helps him out, put over the younger talent and everything like that. And obviously still not putting them over, letting them beat him, but I do think it would be great if Neville actually beat him or something. Neville or Sami Zayn or one of the NXT stars actually took that title from him. Because, I mean, John Cena, I mean, just remember when John Cena had his debut match against Kurt Angle? Oh, man, that was an amazing match. And, you know, John Cena looked really great and strong. So, you know, and that's what's so good that John Cena is actually doing this U.S. Open Challenge to make other, you know, newcomers like himself. I mean, he's putting himself back in that spot. Like, I remember when, you know, I debuted against Kurt Angle and he made me look really good and everyone was talking about that match for a while. Now they can talk about all my matches with, you know, Neville and Sami Zayn and, you know, even Stardust he had a great match with. Dean Ambrose, every single person he's fought so far for the U.S. Open Challenge, he's had a great match with, so. But yeah, John Cena will win. Just as long as they don't make Rusev actually quit. Throwing in the towel is one thing. That's fine, whatever. Just don't make them have Lana throw in the towel. Just don't make him quit because that's the worst thing you can possibly do for his push. But yeah, that will destroy him if he quits. Obviously, John Cena is not losing, though. John Cena has never lost an I Quit match before in his life, and he is probably going to be undefeated at I Quit matches when he retires. So, alrighty, next match. Ryback versus Bray Wyatt. I want to talk about Bray Wyatt for a minute. Everyone's saying that Bray Wyatt, they're not liking him right now. And I can understand that. I talked to one of the people in my group a little bit a few days ago about Bray Wyatt. And he was saying that he can't stand him, you know, blah, blah, he's not scary. That's pretty much his, you know, thing on him. And I go, well, I don't really think he needs to be scary. He's not really trying to, I mean, he is trying to be scary, but he's doing it in a different way. He's not really trying to be like the Undertaker scary, because that's how he, you know, he compared him to, and I'm like, he's not really trying to be like the Undertaker, though. He's trying to be more of like a newer version of himself, like a different version of himself, something like you've never seen before. Like Undertaker doesn't even talk like how, you know, Undertaker back in the day didn't even talk like how Bray Wyatt is talking right now. Bray Wyatt is putting his own kind of twist and turn on how his promos are going. Now, I will agree with this. Bray Wyatt's promos are they're not good. And I will tell you this, he's a great talker and he's a great in-ring worker. But the problem is he's running out of things to say. And he keeps like, he'll put a tiny twist on it, but it's pretty much the same stuff he says for every single feud he's in. And I want you guys to like actually like look back at his first few feuds and stuff like with John Cena and everything like that, and then start looking at his like, you know, past few views or promos and stuff like that and feuds, and like can kind of compare them and like be like, you know, he was so good at first when he was on the mic, and he still is good on the mic. I'm not saying he's not a good talker, because he is a good talker. It's just his promos and his talking is just, it's getting like to the point where you don't even, you know what he's going to say and you don't even want to listen to it because it's just repeating stuff over and over and over again. And I love Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's one in like the top 5 of my favorite wrestlers on the roster right now. I'm not taking anything away from the guy, but I can see why people are upset about his promos and saying that they're getting annoying and that they're getting lackluster and they're not good anymore. And me and Joe talked about this a little bit on Raw too, where it's not good. He needs to do something where, I mean, I get that he makes his own promos too, and he does his own talking and writes his own, you know, stuff and everything. He needs to do something where he needs to get more like, he needs to almost like any single feud he has kind of like look into their past. Like he actually did a pretty good damn job with Dean Ambrose's when he had his feud with Dean Ambrose. Like he actually looked into his past. He knew he had problems with his dad, and his dad, obviously had some problems, So he brought that into the feud and the promos and everything, and that was really good. I loved that. That's what he needs to do with Ryback, He needs to kind of be like talking about his past, like saying like, oh, you've got here, you've tried to get here for so long and everything like that, and is it really worth it, And he can, even if he brings up the Goldberg chance too, that would be really cool too. But there might be only so much he can say and that WWE's letting him talk about too. So I can also see that too. Maybe he wants to actually talk about their past and stuff like that, but WWE might be picky about some of that stuff. So I don't really blame him, But I think this is an interesting feud. I never really pictured them feuding before, but hey, they're both, not doing anything. So we'll see. But as for who I think is going to win this, Bray Wyatt needs it. Bray Wyatt needs this win. I mean, I don't really have a problem with Ryback, but Bray Wyatt needs to win. Bray Wyatt really needs a good victory, especially if he's going to win maybe the Money in the Bank briefcase, this summer and everything like that, which I definitely see him doing. I think he is going to win the briefcase. But I do think if they, feud for the next few months, I do think that Bray Wyatt needs this one. Even if they give, even if they feud for 3 months, like let Bray Wyatt take this one, Ryback take the next one, and then Bray Wyatt pick it up at the end. But I do think Bray Wyatt needs this first victory because then Ryback can get pissed and, I'll be like, oh, maybe I need to look back and stuff and really actually try and dig up some maybe his past or something, and maybe I'm not as good as I think I was, or maybe I needed to be scared of him, be more prepared for him, and now I am the next time, and then he beats him and everything. So Bray Wyatt eventually gets into his head maybe the 3rd month and really gets under his skin and then wins up with the last victory, something like that. But as for winning this match, I do think Bray Wyatt is going to win, and I do think he needs to win. Now, last but not least, the main event. Oh wow, there's so much to talk about in this main event because there's so much stuff that could happen. Really, I mean, there's so many rumors, so many predictions that really, I don't know how this is going to end. I do know who's probably going to win. At least I would hope so. But I don't know how overall it's going to come out. But it's Fatal 4-Way, Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, and it's for the WWE title. Now, there was some talk that they might let Randy win. I really don't see this happening just because if Brock Lesnar is facing Seth at SummerSlam, because Brock Lesnar is technically a babyface, and if Randy wins, he's going to be a babyface too, and unless he turns heel again, but that would just be ridiculous. That would be stupid. So I do see, or unless they're going to go the opposite way and have Randy face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and then have, just have that match and then have Triple H face Seth for the title, because that's another rumor. But as for the match in general, I do still think Seth is going to retain. It wouldn't make sense for him not to. The rest of them are baby faces. Even if Dean turns heel and even if Roman turns heel or if Seth turns face or whatever happens, I do still see Seth retaining the title. Now, as for how he's going to retain it, there's a couple different ways. There's some talk that Dean is just going to turn heel and join the Authority and help Seth out and turn on Roman. A lot of people don't like this just because they think it makes no sense. Why turn Dean heel if the fans love him? The thing is, though, Dean really isn't like a baby face. He's kind of like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's a tweener. I mean, And he's kind of one of those faces that he doesn't care about anyone. He's not really a baby face. He's more like, I care about myself, and that's it. Yeah, he hates a lot of people, but he also doesn't have a whole lot of friends. So he's just like Stone Cold Steve Austin it was, back in the day. He's kind of like, don't really care, just don't get in my way. And so people saying, oh, it doesn't make sense for him to turn heel just because he's a baby face. He really isn't a baby face, though. I mean, yeah, the fans love him and our fans are into him, but I mean, they turned Stone Cold Steve Austin heel, and I guess that did piss off a lot of people because I was talking about I was talking about that the other day in the group with a few people, Zach and them, and they were saying that or no, wasn't it? It wasn't Zach. It was Corey. I think it was Corey. I was talking to him about it. I'm not sure. But one of them said that they hated Stone Cold Steve Austin after he turned heel, and to me, it's like Dean's a great heel. He's a great heel. He's got that character, he's got that gimmick that he's a great heel. I mean, he's been heel pretty much the whole time he's been in wrestling anyways. This is really the first time he's actually babyface. And there's been talk about turning him heel for a while now, so why not now? Now, as for turning the whole Shield heel, I don't think that makes sense. I don't think that turning Roman heel too is a good idea. I think turning Dean heel, though, to help out Seth is a good idea because then it can completely break up, all friendships. Well, not really all friendships because then Seth and Dean would probably be friends again too. But I think Dean and Roman need to get away from each other because it's kind of like even though the Shield split, it's kind of like they're still like buddies. And, it's whatever. But they did something on SmackDown, and Dean obviously and Roman, attacking Seth and JJ Security and everything, and Roman obviously, extending a hand to Dean, and Dean went for it and instead picked up the title, looked at it, and then handed it and put it over Roman's shoulder, and then said, "Don't worry, I'll take it Sunday." That could have been almost like a Shield, reuniting. That also could have meant that Roman could take the title too, I guess. And, the Shield reforming. I don't think so, though. I think if anything, if Seth is still going to retain, I actually would love it if Seth turned babyface in the Shield, if they really want to have the Shield, reunite. Because that would make more sense because then they can say, oh, we got the power now. And, and they can, because there's even talk about the Wyatt family rejoining because obviously Eric Rowan and Luke Harper already rejoined. There's talk about that and they can, have the Wyatt family kind of help out the Authority. And I just think the Authority needs to break away. And I think J&J Security kind of needs to go away too, and Seth needs to just kind of be by himself. But if anything, I do think rejoining the Shield is the best if you want to do it like that, if that's the only way, because then Seth and Triple H can have their match for the title at SummerSlam and blah blah blah, and have someone screw him out of the title or something like that if they want to take that away from him. But that's how I see it going down. Or they can have, Roman obviously about ready to close in, and Dean, coming up, stopping Roman, and then Seth getting up and being like, oh no, whatever. And then Dean smiling, laughing, and then, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the laydown thing, but it could happen at Payback. There's so many different ways though. Or they could just have Kane leave them all alone and have Kane help out Seth. But Seth's probably getting help. No matter what, Seth is going to get help, whether it's from his Shield members, whether it's just from Dean, whether it's just from Kane, or JJ Security or whatever. Seth will retain and get help some way, somehow. Whether he turns face or they both turn heel or Dean turns heel, whatever. Something's going to happen. I do see a turn, and I do see Seth retaining, though. Whatever way it happens, though, I mean, that's for WWE to decide. But the whole thing, I know people are upset that the Shield might be, you know, reuniting. They're like, it doesn't make any sense. They're all fine by themselves. They are, but I mean, it's still you guys don't even lie. You know you would mark out if all three of them joined together and turned on the Authority. You know you would mark out. So don't even lie and say you wouldn't mark out, because everyone's gonna be marking out tomorrow night if that happens. But anyways, that is that. Sorry I was alone tonight. I'm sorry that, you know, Joe didn't give me his predictions either, neither did Chris. But me and Joe usually agree on everything anyways, so. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, and don't forget to join our Facebook group. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one, which will probably be tomorrow night, actually, if Joe can do it. I might just do it tomorrow night. So our Payback review. So tomorrow night or Monday or something like that. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.